Never thought I'd get this far, honestly. I know it's day 6, but given my propensity for giving up on things, I thought by now I would have, not done something. But I'm going to keep on going. Hopefully for 31 days. Well, today you join me on a walk to the shops. Not doing anything silly, not going off anywhere special. I'm literally just walking to the shops to get some stuff, and I'm doing this as my missteps. Currently going through, let's go around, churchyard, graveyard, but that is St. Peter's, the local church. I've actually done a little video in there about the bell tower. If you're on YouTube, there should be a card appearing somewhere over my left shoulder. Oh, there it is. If you want to go watch that video, please do. It's one of those pointless, interesting ones that I like, and I don't think anybody else has even heard of before. But no, that church was very special to us, I think. And we got married there. Natasha was quite in with sort of like the church community. I class myself as non-religious, but Natasha was, a Christian, and it was nice that she found people that's, struck a chord with her. Sharon and Dennis, the reverends, they're amazing. If ever you do come to visit Brandon, you've got to stop in at the church and the Church Institute, because it's hideously welcoming in a good way. But yeah, Natasha did loads of bits with the church. Summer tea parties and nights, cinema nights for, children and stuff. There was one they did, was it Polar Express, which was great. They decided on the Polar Express, and Natasha then deviated completely off on a tangent. She had a habit of doing that. You ask her what 2 plus 2 is, and she'd figure out that it was also the same as 3 plus 1 and 2 times 2, and then figure out what those were before figuring out 2 plus 2. I think that analogy makes sense. But, yeah, ended up going and hunting, sourcing bells. Little silver bells and red ribbon, and just getting sort of like 60 or 70 of them, and giving one out to, each of the children who came to see the Polar Express. I mean, if you've seen the Polar Express, you'll understand the significance of that, but it was sort of like those little touches that just made everything so much better. Something that's kind of insignificant, but it just elevates everything. And she was incredibly good at doing that. Just, she was an entertainer, after all. Proper theatre child. She danced from an early age, and she tried to, right up until, Clara was born. It got a bit too difficult at that point, but she'd always try. Which, she never talked about it much as she got older. I mean, she'd tell people she'd dance, but not to the extent. Well, always made her happy, dancing. She always wanted Seb to go in to do some dancing, but a typical boy who's more interested in playing football than trying to learn karate, which neither of which padded into anything. So it may just as well have gone into dancing. I mean, it still might, you never know. But yeah. So I was going through the comments, and my Uncle Rob posted one. What prompted the move to Suffolk? It's like, well, not much really. I went for a job interview in London, in parking. Shame Tasha's dad gave me a lift, and Tasha came along too just to see how I did. It went really well, and I almost got the job. Unfortunately, Tasha's mum decided to try and paint a window frame whilst we were out, and she has a weakness down her left side anyway because she had a stroke. And she fell over, broke her leg, and just kind of stayed there waiting for us to get home. Which was because she didn't want to startle anyone. You know, which, understandable, but scary, to say the least. So after all that was done, they decided to move to a bungalow as opposed to, you know, a house, which the stairs were becoming impossible. But if you've ever lived in the south of England, Kent, London, a bungalow is a hot commodity, as in it's almost impossible to find any, let alone live in one. And the people who do live in them are sort of like long-term tenants who are never going to move until you carry them out in a coffin. So, looked around, and they managed to get on the council list in Suffolk. Because there's family who lives here, you've got to have a connection to the area, so it was family. So they were planning on moving, sorting out dates, trying to look at properties. They couldn't get up, so me and Tasha came up. And so we broached the idea of actually moving up as well. As time went on, sort of like, you know, we actually seriously considered it. Well, if we're moving, we've got to go privately because we haven't got, you know, we can't use the family connection because it's too distant. Sorry, where was I? Yeah, so we looked at renting privately. We realised we could afford, you know, a little starter house to begin with in Norfolk, in Thetford, which is fine. It's just looking for a job. Now, as a bingo caller, ultimately, you know, shall we say, it's a vocation. It's not a job that you accidentally start doing. It's a job that you kind of have to learn, which was good because there was a local bingo hall. It was quite easy to get an interview and then secure a job using my vast years of experience. So we had a starter house up here and a starter job, and we came up. Actually, we made it up here before Tasha's parents did, which was fun. Moving in was great. She bought stuff, you know, all the bedroom stuff, which is okay because the bed itself was a frame that sort of like came into pieces, that went up the stairs amazingly, and then came the furniture, the wardrobe, and the just fantastic, beautiful, solid wood. The problem was, to get up the stairs, you had to go through a doorway, and then it was a 90-degree turn. Come hell or high water, they would not go through the doorway, let alone get around the corner to go up the stairs. To the point that me and my dad, who was helping us move boxes in, actually went for a walk around the town, leaving Tasha swearing and trying to still get the stuff up the stairs. We came home about half hour later to her sitting on the sofa, refusing to talk to us. So we had to go buy a chest of drawers and a wardrobe, and the dining room had a new sideboard and coat cupboard. She always did have a fiery temper. She could be your best friend and your worst enemy, and generally at exactly the same time. But, like she always said, if I argue with you, it's because I know you can do better. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't argue. I'd just let you get on with it. I'm going to miss the arguments. I'm going to miss being put back on the straight and narrow when I do something stupid. Right, to Tesco's. Time to stock up for the week. One lighter wallet later, same time tomorrow. I didn't bring the car, did I?